In this video, I'm going to attempt something very ambitious, to answer the age-old question of what is White's best first move. Is it 1e4 or is it 1d4? Now, there are other first moves for White, of course. There's knight f3, there's c4, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to focus on e4 and d4. These are White's most common first moves at all levels, and it's also where the debate revolves around. So we're going to put them head to head, and hopefully we're going to find a winner by the end of it. My name's Nathan Rose. I'm the author of Chess Opening Names. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do all kinds of great content on chess, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the great stuff that I've got coming up. So first of all, let's cover off the stylistic side of things, because it is true that the real answer is personal to each individual player. Your choice of opening repertoire should be based on your strengths and preferences as a chess player. 1e4, the king's pawn opening, opens two diagonals immediately. The queen is opened up and also the light squared bishop. Whereas 1d4 opens just one diagonal. For this reason, 1e4 is considered to promote faster piece development, and the game becomes more tactical and more sharp more quickly. The other thing about 1e4 is that this pawn on e4 is not naturally defended, so White is going to have to defend that pawn if Black attacks it. On the other hand, 1d4 is naturally defended by the queen, which makes it a bit more stable. The other thing to realize in the debate between 1e4 and 1d4 is that games that begin with 1e4 in general require more opening memorization. Because the games get sharper more quickly, it pays to have some of the lines committed to memory. So whether this is a good thing or a bad thing depends on your preferences. If you just want to play a game of chess without needing to memorize too much in the opening, then maybe stick to the queen's pawn opening. But if you're like me and you see the opening phase of the game as an avenue where you can outplay your opponent and gain an advantage through preparation you do before arriving at the board, then 1e4 can suit you better. So on this screen we've got two great chess masters from the past. On the left we've got Bobby Fischer, the 11th world chess champion, who famously said that e4 is best by test. And indeed, if you look at Fischer's games, he almost always started with e4 with White. And then you've got Ernst Grunfeld on the right, who was definitely a 1d4 man through and through. So again, it is possible to be successful with either first move, and which one you pick depends on your preferences as a chess player. Having said that, I always find that answer, "it depends," to be rather unsatisfying. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually dive into some of the data to look at not what is best based on opinion, but by actual numbers and results. So we're going to change the graphics now and start that analysis. So first of all, I asked the engine what it thought was the best first move for White. I simply set up the starting position and then turned on the engine and then got Stockfish to crunch the numbers. I want you to pay attention to this area down here as I turn on the engine again right now. You can see that Stockfish is doing its calculations, trying to work out what the top move in the position is. I mean, Stockfish will do this in any position, so why not in the starting position? And you can see that as Stockfish gets more time and can go deeper into its analysis, it's changing its mind as to what the top move is. I let this run for 1 hour, and after an hour it had stopped moving around, it had settled on its answer, and the answer was 1e4. very narrowly came out as the computer's top choice for white. There was only 0.01 in it, but still, the King's Pawn opening scores best on the latest version of Stockfish. So the engine analysis provides us with a window into the objective truth of which of the two openings is better. But in chess we should also care about practical outcomes, especially in games played between humans. So I went to the chess.com opening database and took a look at what the results say. Among millions of games played by master level players, the results show that white wins 39% of the time in both 1e4 and 1d4, but 1e4 results in a somewhat higher winning percentage for black, which of course makes 1d4 superior for white, right? If black is winning a lower percentage of games, then that means that 1d4 is the superior choice for white, according to chess.com's master database. Lichess also has their own master opening database. So I wanted to cross-check the results we saw on chess.com with Lichess's numbers. And the results are the same. 1e4 and 1d4 both have the same winning percentage for white, but 1d4 has a slightly lower winning percentage for black. So, according to Lichess, 1d4 also comes out on top. Okay, so we've got results from the engine, we've got results from master level players, but what about the rest of us? Most people watching this video will not be master level chess players. So which out of 1e4 or 1d4 performs best for someone at your rating level? Well, Lichess has some insights here. We can go to all games played on their site, and then you can filter by different time controls and rating levels. I wanted to look at games excluding hyperbullet, bullet, blitz, and also correspondence. So we're just looking at rapid and classical. And first let's look at games only played by those 2000 and up. Once again, 1d4 is the winner. This time 1d4 actually has a slightly higher winning percentage. 48% for 1e4 versus 49% for 1d4. And 1d4 also has a lower winning percentage for black, 44% versus 45%. So 1d4 is a clear winner among those 2000 and up. What about intermediate level players? So let's go from 1000 all the way up to 1800. What does it say there? It's the same thing. We're starting to see a pattern, aren't we? 1d4 seems to be winning across most categories with humans involved. 51% of the games are won by white with 1d4, only 50% with 1e4, and similarly 1d4 has a lower winning percentage for black than 1e4. So among intermediate players as well, 1d4 is the winner. Finally, what about at the lowest rating level, so those below 1000? Let's check there. Okay, so finally 1e4 scores a win. At those rated under 1000, with an average rating of 878, we're seeing 1e4 come out on top. 1d4, not so strong for the beginner level players, but again, it's very close. So what a remarkable set of results. Isn't it interesting how 1e4 is the strongest choice at the highest level of chess, played by the engine, but also at the lowest level of chess, as played by beginners. For everyone else, from master level players to advanced players to intermediate level players, 1d4 is the one that's outperforming. And so based on the numbers, I have to declare 1d4 the winner. Which is the best opening? 1e4 or 1d4? 1d4 it is. Hope you enjoyed that video. If nothing else, it's entertaining and interesting to look at. We have to say that the numbers in every case are extremely close. So once again, it does depend on what your strengths are as a chess player, what your style is. But still, 1d4 comes out on top. If you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Give it a like, drop a comment down below if you've got any feedback on what I put together there. And I'll catch you next time. This is Nathan Rose. Bye for now.